We're going into the thick of things. The shift, the turning point. I want to tell you what it is, and I want you to get very focused on what you desire, because there's stuff going on that is distracting many people without them realizing where it's taking them. You manifest everything, everything. I'm going to talk to you about that today, how we work as a collective, and the turning point for you that is so critical. I can't express this enough. Are you ready to hear about this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. You're thinking, now? Break through fear? Yeah. Here's the turning point. I'm going to hit it right off the bat. The turning point is taking the tests to the next level. Phase 2. You know my predictions? People are like, well, what's actually going to happen? You're determining that. The prediction is that we now have a turning point. In the next couple of years are going to be so critical. And what's the turning point? It's every possible test to put things in front of you that are going to trigger the material world, the ego, and density. And boy, many of you're going into it. I noticed some people that were on my channel that are still taking sides sort of disappearing a little bit. Why is that? Because everyone is going to connect with their own frequency, their like frequency. And that's okay. Some people still want to go through, they desire to, because everything's a choice for you, to go into the lower density. Conflict, separation, struggle, arguments, none of that's the new earth. This is your turning point. Are you the problem or the solution? What is the problem? Well, Landria, I have to you don't have to get involved in anything that's negative. Anything. Taking sides, that's not the new earth. The new earth is finding solutions and working together, even if you don't like somebody. It's not violence, it's not arguing, it's not going on social media and filling your little brain with the garbage out there that's just propaganda and brainwashing. And so many of you are falling for that. This is the test. You're falling for all of it. Because there's always going to be a story out there that sounds really real, and you'll never have 100% of the facts. You'll never know who, what, where, how. You'll never know anybody's history or personal journey or frequency, only by their actions. What are they speaking? What are they doing? And that determines whether you will go into a new earth or you will remain in the struggle and the pain that's going on right now. And this is the separation between those who choose not to participate in it and are creating a new earth. That's not standing by and allowing things to happen that are wrong. What's wrong? According to you, we are a collective. We are a planet. We are one. And if you don't recognize that or start behaving like that, you cannot go into a cohesive, loving, compassionate earth. And the more you go into that space and you become the change, and you go into the turning point saying, boy, I'm going to get a lot of triggers right now. I'm going to want to watch stuff that's very violent. I'm going to want to watch stuff that's disturbing. I'm going to want to see what our future's going to look like. Who's going to project our financial industry and all the things that are going to happen. You're doing it right now. It will happen according to your focus. It will, because there are going to be people that will go into the density and struggle in the structures that are dissolving. Dissolving, that's all they are, neither good nor bad. We're progressing, we're evolving. In order to evolve, it's like medicine, right? Doctors never used to wash their hands before surgery. They didn't know what germs were. They were infecting the very patients they were working on and killing them. Then doctors started to wear the masks. Guess what? When I'm talking, I'm spitting into that open wound. We learn, we evolve. And some things we've taken too far. But I'm telling you right now, what we have to do if we want to go into that place of peace and the golden era is to recognize that everything we do, we must do in peace and positive solutions. No blame, no pointing fingers, no arguing. It's going to be tough for a lot of you because you got a real strong stance. Why? Because you were brought up a certain way, you were exposed to certain things, you have a certain personality and ego in that. If I put you, wolf child in the woods, you wouldn't think any of those things. So what's truth? It's what you've created and what you've decided. And if that truth invokes anything less than peace, you are not going into the turning point of the new earth. That's it. It's that simple. You get to choose. This can be tough because that ego is going to fight and scratch to participate in this very interesting, fascinating scenario that's going on our planet in every area. It's like watching a train wreck, right? Did anybody die? Whew. Can I see the body? Human nature. We are fascinated with density. We've explored it for centuries. So if you aren't ready to give that up, by all means, participate in it. I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're going to look back and ask yourself, what was it you were fighting for? Freedom for what? Freedom from what? We must recognize our power. So this is the turning point, is to know what you are. And somebody was just telling me that they wanted to, do meditations, and she's never done that before online, or she's not really a meditation expert. You don't have to be an expert at anything. And she says, I keep wondering if people are going to follow me or if I'm going to do it right. And I said, that's still the ego talking. It's not like, oh, no, you're good enough. I told her, I said, I have a zero tolerance on this channel right now. We just went into zero tolerance. And we'll talk more about that in the next video. What is that? Don't tell me you don't have power. Don't tell me that you can't do something or you're not an expert. If you change one person's life, if you made one person feel good in that one day, you're an expert. So I told her, it's not that, we're going to give you encouragement and do the mindset stuff and whatever. That's all great. I'm not knocking it. I teach that stuff, right? But I want you to recognize your power. I want you to be empowered with my teachings, to know what you are. And when you start thinking that way, that's your ego. All you care about is what people think of you or if you're good enough. 100% ego. All right? So we don't think of that as ego, but it is. I want you to understand what's happening right now. Everything you expose yourself to, that you speak, believe, think, and act, 100% counts. That thought counts. If you find somebody else evil, that will be your world. If you observe things and recognize that there is lower density in the planet, I don't even like to call it evil because it's just a frequency. So if you've ever seen The Matrix, all they see are lines on a screen when they go in and out of realities. They're just frequencies out there. And then we see the physical world. Oh, that's that line on the computer. We're interpreting it a certain way. And because we're here physically in it, we interact with that. And then our line starts to change. And then we go over here instead of staying there. This is your turning point. What are you going to do? You could go into a peaceful place and it will be disturbing. As a human being, we already have dense bodies. It will be disturbing because you can't avoid experiencing what's going on out there on some level. But you can choose what you expose yourself to, what you believe, and how you get involved, and 100% that's yours. And when you get involved, you react to that, you connect to that frequency. What are you connecting to? What is your frequency? This is it. This is the big test. Get ready. There's going to be more coming up. Big ones. Big, big, big ones. And it's going to reel you in. Or You don't even look at it. You're over here saying, this is our test to create a new earth. What am I going to do to contribute to that? Because when we pull out of this, and we will, we always do, there will be a golden era unlike any other, and one of total destruction. You get to choose what you participate in. There are no coincidences. So if anything happens in your life that seems bad or wrong, it's not. It's always taking you to a higher place. Always. Because it's always a test for a turning point. So when something happens, whatever's you're doing in your life at that point, or thinking or whatever, if you want a change, if you want to shift into a new reality, then you have to shift the thoughts, the actions, and say, well, I don't want to remain here. This is a turning point for me. Okay, the universe is putting it in my face that what you're doing here is not congruent with what you desire, or what you're capable of more than anything. This is the January video that I'm launching right now. Is the January Miracle Circle is reality shifting. And the Miracle Circle is when we work live for 2 hours, and if you don't make the live class, you get the whole master class plus the practices and a meditation. I pull everything in to deal with current events and to work with you energetically. So come join the Miracle Circle if you don't catch January, and I'm just going to be old real quick. You can go into Manifest Anything or on my website, LandraOnkka.com, and click on the Miracle Circle and see which one's coming up, or sign up for any of the past ones that are powerful, that are relevant to what you must work on yourself in order to progress to that new higher frequency and space. Unless you don't want to. A lot of people, they just really enjoy the arguments. They enjoy all that stuff. But you won't be talking to me. I won't be inviting you for coffee or a glass of wine. I have better things to do. And so there's a zero tolerance, and maybe you should go into the zero tolerance. That's going to be my next video. This is your turning point, my friend. Don't be fooled. All of this is going to be presented to you. Oh, here's the big test, and then we're going to take it up a notch. The universe is going to take it up a notch because you came here to be tested. Oh, you really wanted to evolve? You came here at this specific time because this is the ultimate test. Not only the densest planet in the universe, but now going into major density, but also splitting. There's great awakening happening. The great awakening has been happening. And you can participate in that despite what's going on out there. I want to assure you that this is all possible no matter what happens on this planet. You cannot be destroyed. Nothing can ever harm you. Nothing. And whatever you experience as a human being is part of knowing the contrast of what we truly are. You've never lost contact with your higher self. Never forget that. No one has abandoned you. There's a hands-off rule, because unless we have the hands-off rule by our higher selves and angels and archangels and all the higher beings, then we couldn't experience the test. Yeah. What? Yeah, I'm like, okay, enough of the test. Can we move on to the golden era? And we are. We are. Do you want to join me? Come on over to the Miracle Circle. And you know what? Manifest Anything. You can go to LandraOnkka.com and look at all of my courses. Just pick what you need to work on. Go in and take the course. You guys have discounts. A lot of stuff is free. I have teachings in just about every area, from relationships to miracles to just really moving past the fear. Breakthrough Fear is a 5-star course. I've got 100% 5 stars from every student. I've ran that course for a couple years now. It's changed lives. You can do the same. You just have to shift out of it. You have to make a choice. I can't do it for you. I can only guide you. Are you ready? This is the turning point. I told you, if you've been doing the work, you can release the buckle on your seatbelt because you knew it was coming, and you knew that you were in that space of peace and said, okay, these things are not affecting me anymore like they used to. If you haven't done the work, tighten up the seatbelt, do the work, and then you'll realize you can actually remove the seatbelt at some point soon and say, whatever happens out there does not disrupt my peace. I can be an observer, But I have an opportunity now to be something really amazing and positive and beautiful. I can be the peace, and the more you go into the peace, the more you will shift the collective consciousness into that. When we have a zero tolerance for negativity and violence and separation, we don't oppose it. The zero tolerance is that we will not get involved in it, react to it, fuel the separation, but we create the unity, the peace, and the love without judgment. It's going to be the toughest thing you've ever had to do. You ready? You guys, here's internet marketing, free videos. Come on over. People are changing their lives. Don't be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. Now is the time to get new skills, learn new things, get the knowledge, shift into different things that you do for a living. Get the skills, because our whole economy is shifting and everything out there is shifting. We're online. We're doing things powerful to reach audiences in a positive way. And these are skills that I've had for years that have allowed me to be in front of you right now. You are whole and perfect, perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Don't let this role that you decided to play tell you that you're anything less than that. Blessings to you, my friend. Peace, love. Go out there and spread that light. Namaste.